Oh,
Look at this.
what? The ball is glitching, dude.
Right here if you need me.
And
I got
actually
her.
so much
I got her. That's all I was going for.
Yeah, it's
What?
Yep, let's go. Tell me that's not the greatest clip ever. That's literally going to be the intro of my video of this build.
Mammoth-like strength.
This is all you have to do. Just hold LT down and tap it. Start triggering it. Dark navy ones with the lime green and the white ones with the red diagonal stripe that look kind of like river plates.
Probably just mistimed it straight up. This is so much easier than what we've been playing.
Okay. Yo, how's it going, everyone? This is Lesky here, back with another FIFA 22 Pro Clubs video. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys this striker build that I have been using a lot lately in Pro Clubs division matches and also drop-ins. It's very dominant because of the physical strength and how dominant the physical stats are this year. I think they are very important compared to last year. You can really just body people and muscle people, and calls rarely, there's very rarely fouls given on like 50-50 challenges and shoulder challenges where you can kind of just bodying people out the way. They don't really call fouls nearly as much as they did last year, which I do like. So it makes even bigger and stronger builds even more dominant because they don't call as nearly as much fouls. So you can really get into people and just bully them out of the way. So with this 6'6", 253-pound striker build, I like to call it the Beast Striker, and I've been loving using it. And big builds are actually really good this year. They might even be the meta, the best the big builds have ever been in any pro clubs. So I'm really excited to show you guys this build. Let's get to it. Here we are on the playstyle screen for my Beast Striker build, and I went for 6'6", 253 pounds. I decided not to go for 6'7", just because you lose a pace and only gain like a physical and defending. So I just decided to go for 6'6", and I went 253. The key here is, yeah, you do lose pace compared to 99 pounds, but you gain a lot of physical stats. And also, if you just compare the stats from the attributes from this 99 pounds to 253 pounds, you actually gain shooting, and you also gain passing as well as physical, and you just lose a good amount of pace. But since we are 253 and 6'6", we still have pretty good pace because of the cheetah archetype we put on the skill tree. We actually end up with 85 total pace on a 6'6", 253-pound build. If I tried to do this back in FIFA 21, I would probably have like 70-something pace. In FIFA 20, it would be like 60-something pace. So as the years progress, they made big builds a lot more usable. So I went for 253 pounds on this build because this build is called the Beast Striker build. And also 253 pounds is actually really good. It's not a joke. It's actually very dominant. You get crazy physical. And the thing is, with going to 253, you actually get the highest jumping possible for your base stats. And I really wanted this build to be an aerial threat. That's the main thing. An aerial threat that's just a strong physical beast. When selecting the perks for this build, it was actually pretty easy because I really wanted the power header trait. Since this is an aerial threat build, I'm going to score a lot of header goals with this build. As you'll see in a lot of the clips, a lot of them are header goals. With the power header trait, it helps a lot. It overpowers the goalie. Sometimes the goalie will get a hand on the header, but it'll still go in the goal just because there's too much power on that header. So it's very clutch to score headers consistently. And it also gives you the flare trait, which I like a lot. I believe that's only on one-time shots though, so I guess you could do like maybe fancy one-time shots with it, like bicycle kicks and stuff maybe. They're easier to trigger. And then you also get the finesse shot and the outside foot shot. And just remember, those are all on one-time shots. So when people are like crossing it into you, try hit those one-time volleys, one-time headers. People lay it off to you, go for the one-time shot, a through ball in behind, and you don't have to really take a touch. You're pretty close to the goal. Just go for the one-time shot. It increases your finishing ability in front of the goal. And this perk is actually extremely good just to rely on like consistently finishing and scoring your chances. So that's why I have the one-time shot. It's extremely clutch for big builds, especially because of that power header trait. And then for the second perk on this build, I went for the physical strength perk, and that, as I mentioned in a few of my videos now, it gives you boosted strength, ball control, and jumping when jostling, shielding, or heading the ball. The key detail here is really that boosted strength. You can body people and shield people. It's very clutch. You will notice a big difference. Even though your guy's already really pretty strong, 6'6", 253, adding the physical strength, you're even more of a beast. So I like that a lot. And also it increases your jumping when heading the ball. So that makes you even more of an aerial threat. And even though we are 253 with like the max possible jumping for base stats on a striker, on top of that, and 6'6", we get the physical strength that increases your jumping, and you win a lot of headers very easily. And I scored so many header goals. It's crazy with this build. So yeah, that's why I have these two perks on this build. I think they work perfectly for a big build exactly like this, one-time shot and physical strength. I would like to have the skilled dribbler just to make the skill moves a little bit better, like quicker. That basically just increases your dribbling, and then it also gives you the flare trait, or possibly even active first touch, so a guy could get a little bit of a speed boost when controlling the ball or running onto a through ball. That would actually be pretty nice for a big build. But so maybe if I had my third perk slot unlocked, I would put one of these two on and try that. So starting with the physical page, I only have one thing on here so far, and it's just the strength that gives you +2 strength for 1 skill point. It gets us up to 78 strength, which isn't too bad. And remember, we do have that physical strength perk, so who knows what it really bumps our strength up to. It feels like it's almost like 80 or 90. It feels crazy because of that perk. And our body type is so wide. It's so hard for people to just out-muscle you and get the ball off of you. And then on the dribbling, I went for the 5-star skills, of course. I'm going to be doing this on most of my builds, but for some of y'all, 5-star skills isn't the move. Don't go for 5-star skills. That's a waste of skill points for some of y'all, but for me, it's really helpful and I like it a lot because I love doing skills, even with really big builds. It's actually even better for me with big builds because they're not the most agile or got the crazy balance, but when you add skills, they can do some crazy stuff, even though they don't have that good of dribbling stats. So that's why I really like 5-star skills. But for some of y'all aren't going to want it. I would just keep this 4-star skills, or maybe some of y'all don't want any skills. Y'all just want to go 3-star skills. Then just do something like this to where you get 86 ball control, 86 dribbling. But if you want the 4-star skills, definitely go for the one on the right and just keep it like how it is right now. And maybe you could use the extra skill points for agility or something like that, or anything else you'd like. But I'm going to have the 5-star skills, and that's what it is for me right here. 72 agility, 75 balance. Not going to be that good, but you kind of have to expect that. We're 6'6", 253. And then 86 ball control and 89 dribbling is actually pretty solid for a big striker. So I'm not too disappointed with those dribbling stats. And they actually felt pretty good other than the agility. But if you utilize some of those 5-star skills, if y'all like 5-star skills, you really can beat people off the dribble with this big build. And it really doesn't feel that slow or clunky compared to like if I were to use a big build like this back in FIFA 21. It feels a lot smoother than it did last year. So on to passing, where we don't have anything here. The passing stats aren't going to be anything to shout about. That 55 long passing is pretty atrocious, but what can we do about it? It's just the base stats, so we have to leave it. And then shooting, we have a little bit on shooting. We don't have a ton of skill points, so this was kind of just extra skill points I added on. I would add this on last. If you have some extra skill points, just add it on to shooting, get that shot power and long shots. That's what I did. I decided not to go finishing or volleys. I thought the shot power was pretty important, and also just get some long shots would be pretty nice and get that over 80. So almost all of our shooting stats are actually over 80 except for the shot power. So maybe if we get this one next, we'll actually have 80 shot power, and that will be pretty sick. And then on to pace. Actually, we have 84 heading actually, so that's pretty good combined with the power header trait. And we didn't even increase the heading accuracy, so that's just a base stat. So the headers on this build, as I've already mentioned, are extremely good. And y'all have probably seen from the clips that I've already been playing, I've scored a ton of them. On to pace. We went for the full pace upgrade, got the Cheeto archetype, and that gets this 6'6", 253-pound build to 85 pace, which is crazy to me. It's not blistering fast, but as a 6'6" max weight build, your 85 pace, that's just awesome, first of all, and just kind of shocking that they actually made them that good. Because in FIFA 21, if I were to make this build 6'6", 253 pounds and upgrade the pace fully, it would honestly be like in the 70s, I think. The pace would be in the 70s. Very trash. But now you can actually almost be a max height, max weight build and have 85 pace. I think if I were to go to 6'7", 253, I would have been 84, which still would have been pretty good. And if you look at the clips of this build, it actually looks very rapid at times. Maybe it's just because you're 6'6", 253 and it just looks like you're trucking down the field, even going at 85 pace, but you feel pretty quick and you can get in behind on the defense. Not like as easily as like 90 pace, 95 pace builds, obviously, but you definitely can. And if people are coming like trying to track back and steal the ball if you come in from behind and trying to chop you down, you can use LT, tap LT, and just body them. I have a clip, I think it was in a drop-in match against computer, but as we know, like computer drop-ins are actually really good this year compared to last year. I bodied this computer down the line, down the baseline, the whole way. I would think I was like out of stamina maybe too. It didn't matter, so I wasn't even running that fast, but I was just bodying computer the entire way and just dribbling it down the line, down the baseline, and then I sweated it off for an easy goal for I think a computer to score or someone to score. And it was crazy. It just showed off the pure strength of that build. And make sure y'all remember, if y'all don't have like an innie or a goalie taking punts, just call for the ball like on like goal kicks, punts, and it'll just go to you. And half the time your guy, more than half the time, like 80-90% of the time, your guy will win the header and you can head it down to one of your teammates, or you can even flick it on like behind you to have one of your fast teammates run onto the ball. It's extremely good to have a big guy, especially if y'all aren't running an innie or anything and you just want computer just to kick it up to your guy, and then you can just knock it down and keep possession for your team. So having a big dude on your team is also very clutch, like for teams that don't have innies and just want to keep possession on those goal kicks and punts. Because as we know, over the years in FIFA, if you're playing without an innie, you can lose possession a lot just because the computer on free kicks and goal kicks, punts, just lose the ball almost 50% of the time. This year, they're actually a little bit better at it, but sometimes you'll still need to call for it. I usually call for it almost all the time, and a good like 80% of the time, we'll end up with the ball after that. So definitely remember to do that because you are a big build. But that's going to wrap up this build video for this Beast Striker build, guys. Definitely one of my favorite builds I have used so far, especially for just strikers. I'm going to be using this build a lot. I have a feeling I've scored so many goals since using it, and I just want to have the full skill points in the third perk slot and really try it out and see the full potential of this 6'6", 253-pound striker build. If you enjoyed this video, guys, could you please hit that like button on the video? And if y'all aren't already subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button for me. I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching. Y'all have a great rest of y'all's day, and peace out.